All right, we're here with James and we're looking at the success sheet. So this is the form that we basically use to track all your professional and personal goals. It's what we use as part, it's not the whole structure, but it's a part of the one-on-ones that we do each month, which we'll schedule yours before we get done today. This success sheet is basically used to give you a roadmap for everything that you're going to accomplish, things that you're going to spend the most energy on, things that are going to maybe come naturally because of other work that was done in prior months. But it's a way of tracking everything as far as your performance, both personally, whether it's eating, diet, working out, more time with the kids, more time with the wife, date nights, once a week, anything this sheet is good for. It is not just a worksheet, okay? So this is meant for tracking all of that stuff as well as tracking all of your professional KPIs, okay? Meaning work, not professional like some other weird thing. So this is basically the sheet we use. This is set up in Trello as just a recurring thing. So we start one-on-ones on the first of every month. It's always, it's the first week of the month.
Okay.
Okay, and we'll block yours out. You block your schedule that you send me from, that goes to ISC. That's blocked for appointments. I block my calendar, so it's a big deal because we're taking your slots, we're taking my slots or availability. So we treat it accordingly, right? Like I don't let anything impact these, like Dwayne yesterday. It would have been way easier just to reschedule with him, but it never would have happened. And having failed at this for many years, we have to be super rigid on this. And I don't necessarily like being rigid, but on this we have to be rigid because if we tell ourselves we'll reschedule, it never happens. Never. Because y'all's schedule is just all wacky. My schedule is wacky. Trying to reschedule something, it's damn near impossible and it never happens. So you commit to that time slot, I commit to that time slot. We respect each other's effort in that and we make the one-on-ones happen. I've not missed one-on-ones hardly ever by going to that system. Where before it was kind of like, well, let's see if I can do it Tuesday after my, it don't work. You have a long appointment, you have another appointment after that, and next month we're sitting here saying, hey, did we meet, So you block, I block, we commit to it, nothing gets in the way of it, with exception, emergency stuff, of course, but it's that important. So what you do here is, well, first we'll look at the sheet as this is where your look ahead will go that we just talked about. You don't have one because you weren't here for our planning session. But that's where your look ahead sheet will go, and that way you can track all your yearly goals, and that's a more personal, professional, spiritual, kind of all domains. What are you looking to do this year? When we do our review in December, early January, what did you want to see happen this year? What can you look back on and recognize success in? What can you look back on and say, I wish we'll put more effort here? That's what this sheet, the look ahead, is for, is really to track all that and really give you a good understanding of I was here and now I'm here. Okay. We have all your monthly tabs as we just looked at. They're all the same. And then we have a year-to-date summary tab of all your kind of metrics. It's a little redundant because it's the same information that's in the sales report, but it's how I built it, so there it is. So we're going to go to June and set yours up, May, because that's the one we're doing with our one-on-ones this week. So you put your name in here. Your net sales, you don't put, that populates automatically, so you don't have to worry about it. You just have to worry about your name being in that box. To do, I'm just going to do, well, there's already some in here. So all of these, if you click on them, they have formulas. So all of these pull from the prior spreadsheet. Oops. See how May goals? Mm-hmm. So all these numbers are pushing to your May goals. So you don't have to fill them in. You have to fill in your actuals.
Okay.
And these you can get off the sales report. Okay? So don't do anything in the gold. Input all of these.
Okay.
Okay? And then it'll give you a performance in terms of percentage of goal. what did you excel? So this I tell people, and I get a little fired up about this, as you'll talk to people about. This is not meant to be a buzzer beater. It's due at midnight, so I'm doing it at 11:58, and I'm just going to pile through it. I'm just going to power through this, put down some garbage. This is meant to be a roadmap to your success, which is why, ding dong, light comes on. It's a success sheet. It's meant to be important. It's meant to provide you with a pathway. Okay, I'm here. I want to be here. What do I need to do? Okay. It's also set up with a certain amount of forced reflection. What did I execute well last month? Well, I really stayed on top of my calls. I really stayed on top of the methodology. I really did an excellent job of extending the dialogue. Type it in. This sheet should take you 45 minutes.
Okay.
As being new, it's going to take you longer than that. When you get it down where it's humming and it's like quick and it's, it should take you 45 minutes. And what I see is, and it's so obvious, and I'm like, how long did you work on this? It's not meant to be done at 11:58 and it's due at midnight. I can totally see when the effort that's put into this, because I can think with 7 people, 8 people, I can think of better, thoughts than the person filling it out. That shouldn't be.
Right.
That shouldn't be the case. That means you didn't it was a half-ass attempt, and you just wanted to get this done as quickly as possible because you don't really take it seriously. That bothers me, because again, you're blocking time, I'm blocking time. Don't waste anybody's time.
Right.
This is meant to be a roadmap for your success. Treat it as such, right? So this is meant to be a good reflecting period of like, what did I do well? What really went well for my month last month? Write it down. What could you have done better? Okay, where did I fall? Where did I falter? I didn't, my commitment to the agenda was a little lazy, and I was a little light on, suggesting one parties. Okay, good, we can work with that, right? That's what we role play on Thursdays for. So here's some honesty and, again, more reflection about where did I fall short? Where could I have been better? Where could I have moved the needle a little bit more to create a better outcome for my month? Okay? That takes time. It takes time to think about that and honestly reflect, but we don't grow unless we reflect and change, right? And grow and figure out ways to do things differently, and maybe push into the discomfort a little bit more with more role playing, more studying, more asking somebody for help, whatever the case. So these are meant to be real honest reflections of your last 30 days. Then we come down to here. These we do populate. And generally we do all these during our planning session. So we do it that full day planning session that we take. So you don't have to do that every month. We just knock it all out. Yours are going to have to be adjusted, obviously. So for this first month, you should be running fully by next week for sure, end of this week. So let's just be a little friendly. Conversion, our minimum is 28. So the whole reflections thing that you hear kind of some blurbs about right now, anytime somebody's below 28% conversion for the week, you're on reflections. So it's not meant to be like, you're grounded, get in the corner. I'm going to reflect on what I did, what I didn't do, and what produced the outcome that I saw. Why am I less than 28% conversion? Okay? And we'll go into that in a second too. But 28 is the minimum standard. If you're on reflections for more than 3 weeks in a row, you come off leads, I block my schedule, you block your schedule, and we do retraining. So it's a good accountability. Nobody's getting shamed. Nobody's getting beat up or insulted. It really is. It's meant to be an accountability program. And it's, quite honestly, that's where a lot of sales teams lack. So that's what the conversion is. Your average job size. Some of these formulas got a little jacked up. So it's working. So your average job size, that's what didn't work. I don't know how how some of these formulas got messed up. But so your average job size and your RPL populate automatically. So the average job size is taking number of appointments times conversion divided by the 3,500. Your RPL is taking number of appointments divided by revenue total. So these two populate automatically. Don't need to do anything with them. Okay. For you, financing, we don't have a lot of financing with concrete coating, although it doesn't mean you couldn't sell the junk out of it, doing like a 6-month or a 12-month short term, kind of giving people a convenience option and not having to come out of pocket with cash. There should be something. You should, even if selling Pentec only, you should have some sort of 5-10% every month. That tells me that you're exhausting every opportunity to convert business. Okay, so we'll leave yours at, let's call it 8. Obviously, we're not doing Windows, we're not doing Hardy, so just leave those zeroed. Appointments, where we're sitting right now, I'm guessing maybe 20 for you. Demo rate is kind of we can control it to some extent. If you're dealt 10-1 parties in a week, which God forbid that happen. If you were given 10-1 parties in a week, you can do the best you can, but that's not all your responsibility. So it's an equal shared responsibility demo rate. We have an obligation to do everything we can to get a good demo appointment, and ISC has everything, has a responsibility and things that they can do to make sure that we have every chance of doing that. In between, there's this whole thing called the prospective client. They lie, they tell us what they want to, what we want to hear. So there's a whole variable that we can't control, and it's not ISC's fault, and it's not our fault. It just is. Gross profit, that's our target for the year, 52. Actually, with concrete coating, we want to leave, it's at 60. So you want to leave that at 60. And you're self-set right now, you're brand new. I don't expect you to have, I know you had those couple things you told me about. We're not worried about self-set at this point. We want to get your legs under you. We want to get you on a nice base of following the methodology in the house, extending the dialogue, and converting business. We're not worried about self-set at this stage in the game.
Okay.
90 days from now, different discussion if you got your feet under you, kind of thing. Okay?
Yeah.
That's how we fill in our goals. Then, like we talked about before, all these magically appear right here in the following month. Cool?
Yep.
Going back to May, then we're done with our goals. Now we have to say, okay, what am I going to excel at this month? I put it this way specifically to not be like, what are you going to suck at and what are you going to, do away, just blow away. Like, why put it on there then?
Right.
So excelling, it's still going to require work, but it's not going to be something I'm like intentionally focused on, right? So what are you going to excel at this? I'm going to make every single job complete call the minute I get it. I'm going to do 3 installation visits each week. I'm going to send out my quick page every night as soon as I get leads. I'm going to send every proposal by quick page following the appointment. See how I'm going? So those are things you're going to do with very little effort, and they should be things that you're going to execute at a high level with very little effort, right? Because down here, instead of like, what am I going to suck at this month? What will you have to focus most on? This is like the meat and potatoes when I talk about like the pathway to success for you for the month. That's this. Speaking of quick page. This is where, and this is another telltale area, I see this. I see that, and I'm like, what are we doing here? Like, why did I block my day? Why did you block your day for that? Because that tells me you did this at about 11:58, knowing it was due at midnight, and this is what we're wasting our time here for. So I do get a little bit fired up about that. Because if this is how our month is going to win, that's not how we're going to win. So these need to be, you heard of the SMART principle? Specific, measurable, achievable, realistic. These need to be SMART goals. Okay. So this and this next to reflecting up here, this is going to take you the most time. Because you do have to, and I would start broad and then drill it down in terms of making it SMART. Well, I know my conversion was down, so I got to bring up my conversion. Okay. So that's our broad. then there's going to be activities that support that happening, right? I'm going to make sure I'm getting back to the methodology, right? I'm going to use the methodology on every single appointment. I'm going to study the methodology 30 minutes, 3 times a week. I'm going to focus on every week this month, I'm going to use extending the dialogue as my role play topic. Those are good. When I see that, I'm like, all right, they're engaged. This person wants to win. They want to have success, and they want to contribute to the team instead of like sell more, convert better, sell bigger jobs. I see that stuff, and I just lose it.
Okay.
So these need to be specific. Okay, we're thinking through this and go and a lot of times this ties into this, obviously, right?
Right.
And when I see that, I'm like, okay, somebody's connecting the dots. They're thinking through this. When these don't align with anything down here, I'm like, okay, dude, like, what are we doing? This isn't real. I don't like wasting time because I don't have a lot of time to waste, and I don't want y'all wasting time. So you can be assured anything I give you, it has meaning, it has value, and it's supposed to be important to your success, to you reaching your potential, to you achieving the things that you want to achieve by being here. Cool?
I like
So
it.
these have to be SMART goals. Very specific. And even write them down. Okay, yeah, I need to convert, so bring up my conversion. Okay, that's my first one. Man, I did really poorly with QuickPage follow-up, so I'm going to have something in there. I'm going to integrate with QuickPage more. I'm going to adopt QuickPage to a higher extent. Okay, that's my second one. Whatever. I mean, self-set revenue was low, or financing was low. Let's use that one because that's a real one. Financing was low. Okay, so now I got my broad categories. Now I'm going to go back and I'm going to drill down on those. Conversion, I just gave you an example for. Forgot what the second one was. QuickPage?
QuickPage.
Yeah, I'm going to adopt QuickPage more.
So-
Okay, so
I mean, need to spend more of my time learning how to use it more effectively, so I'll be comfortable using it every time.
I'm going to sit down with 2 of the team members and pick their minds on best practices using QuickPage.
Cool.
I'm going to ensure that 100% of my appointments get a QuickPage before and after the appointment.
Okay.
I'm going to ensure that I have my QuickPage loaded with all the content, that's fresh and updated that I need to send to my clients.
Okay.
Those are good behaviors to make sure that we're engaging with QuickPage more. You get the point. And we can work on your first ones together. That's,
Okay.
we won't do that today, but what I'd like to do is actually get our one-on-one on the books, and I send you a calendar invite for the whole year, and it's just repeating. So you don't have to mess with it. The only thing you have to do each month when you turn your schedule on the 15th is account for that in your schedule request. Cool?
Yeah.
Growth prescription has to do with the Enneagram stuff. Have you done the Enneagram? Did I ask you about that?
I've done one. I mean, not with you guys, obviously,
But an Enneagram or some other person?
I think it was. Let me see. It'd be in my email.
But yeah, we can look at that, and if you do know what you are, if not, I can have my wife send you a test, and you can do it because it's super cool. We reference it all the time. The whole team has adopted it 100% and wrapped their arms around it. We talk about it in one-on-ones. We talk about it in normal life stuff, and just what their self-awareness has taught them, and just how they handle their kids and how they handle with their wife, and
Very cool.
how they handle stress in the home. And it's just really cool the way that everybody's wrapped their heads around the Enneagram, because it really is an awesome tool.
So I did go through like a questionnaire, but then I got that email that's like, oh, pay this much to unlock your results. And so I just didn't.
I can just have my wife send you a free one.
Okay.
But that's where this growth prescription comes in, and that's not obviously. But that's how we do that.
Okay.
So again, this section, a good portion of your time,
Okay.
probably at least 15, 20 minutes. Growth prescription we won't have yet. And then your wheel, this is pretty straightforward here. What you do is just fill it in. Have you ever seen one of these? Mm-hmm. So think about a wheel rolling down the street, right? Mm-hmm. If it's nice, you got a nice tread on it, it's going to be a good ride. It's going to be smooth. It's going to be whatever. If you have you know, a nail in you got a chunk out of your tire, whatever, it's going to be imbalanced, right? Kind of like, you know, like this.
Okay.
It's going to be.
Yeah.
So what we're trying to do is get to a point where you have balance. Oh my gosh. So that doesn't mean we put wrong answers in here, but this is again another tool to help us focus on how am I doing? So many times, especially in this job, we can get wrapped up in following up on sales and getting new sales and just the excitement of the sale, and that we forget and can leave a lot of stuff behind unintentionally. So this is meant to say, okay, marriage, family, how am I doing this month? Okay, you know, did this, had some good time with my wife, whatever. Finances, super strong. Biblical, man, I fell off a little bit this month. Didn't meet with my men's group, didn't whatever. Fun and recreation, had a great vacation in here, so that's super high. Fitness, kind of fell off on that, so that's definitely something that needs some work. Rest and retreat, man, I've been sleeping like crap because I've been anxious, I've been blah, 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 whatever. Okay, walk with God, you know, again, just falling off my groups, blah, blah, blah. I haven't been doing my devos in the morning. Discipling others, well, because I haven't been walking, you know, I haven't been really discipling. So, see what I'm saying? So that's how we answer. But it ebbs and flows naturally, no matter how rigorous you are with some of these behaviors. Things are going to move and change and whatever. So this is never going to be perfect. And we want real answers here. We don't want it to be false.
Right.
But it's really good tool to really take account, because if we don't do this, when do we do it? You don't do it mentally. Like, how's my marriage going right now?
Right.
We don't do that. How's my walk with God? How am I starting my days in the right place? Am I orienting my week around the right things? So that's where this wheel comes in. So that's part of what you fill out each month.
Okay.
Okay? So that's how that works. So that's pretty much, like I said, that's pretty much everything with the sales report. And then this is what we go through on our one-on-one, as well as just checking in personally, you know, which is a lot of what's down on the wheel here. But just how are things going, you know? I mean, what's going on, you know? How's your wife's new job? How's how the kids doing? How's things with the stress we talked about last month, you know, whatever. So, it's not meant to be just like, give me the numbers and let's go, you know. It's like, check in, have fun, relax. It's very open dialogue. You know, we can get as authentic and as real as people want to get with this. But it's a really good time just to get to know each other better, and just, like I said, just check in on stuff that matters, work, but also on more important stuff, which is life.
That's cool.
Cool?
Yeah.
So I'll go ahead and, what was else I going to show you? Had to do with something.